Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. Remember, this is a place where we give you a comprehensive analysis of all that is taking place in this country. And of course, we focus on governance issues and some of the government policies and how they generally affect our lives here. Remember, we want a better country for all of us, and that is why we keep these conversations simple and very factual. I'm here with Wakili Willis Otieno. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Yes.
Welcome. Now, a lot has taken place. Of course, the new cabinet has been formed and all this is taking place here. The most critical role that was being waited for by the Kenyans was that of the cabinet, the National Treasury and Planning. Of course, CS John Mbadi is holding that particular office, but here we are. The government finds itself in this kind of tricky situation. Of course, the 2023 Finance Act is null and void. The 2024 one flopped terribly. And then here we are. The president says very well that if you go to deliver and in case that child fails, or rather that baby fails to make it, then you go back again and try getting another one. Definitely he is saying that, look, we are going to go back to the drawing board and draft another bill there. And these sentiments have also been echoed by the financiers. John Mbadi saying here that they may be forced to find other alternative measures of raising revenue. Now tell me, what do you think about this new sudden move by the government? Is it the right way to go?
Of course, they are running away from the problem. They need to understand what the problem is.
Okay.
Our problem is not a revenue problem. Our problem is an expenditure problem. You should first go into how you are spending the money you are collecting and ascertain that the way you are spending it, you are getting value for money and it is prudent. It addresses the needs of your people. So they need to first do an audit of the expenditure, how they are spending it. Then you tell us, this is how we are spending it. The spending is prudent. Then now you go to, we need more to do A, B, C, D. In the expenditure problem, the highest expenditure item is debt finance. 80% of the money you are collecting is going to debt finance. If you are a reasonable person, you will want to look into your debt books to find out which debts you are paying for. Where is that money? What was it used for? Was it legitimately taken? Was it brought into the country? What project did it finance? What was the status of that project? Is it generating money to the people of Kenya? They can't do that. They think the solution is to ignore the expenditure problem and just keep coming raiding our pockets. It will not work. It didn't work last year. It will not work again this year. They're just compounding the problem. It's a waste of everybody's time. Okay. The template that William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza have taken is a waste of time template. They are kicking down the can down the road, and the road has now become narrow. The end time is here. Their fiscal system is collapsing. It will collapse. Kenyans reached the Laffer curve long time ago. It will not increase. You're not going to get any money, more money in their pockets.
Okay.
What they've been giving you is the amount they have. If anything, more and more of them are even losing jobs because of the failed economic policies of William Ruto.
Okay.
So if you're collecting pay as you earn this month from this company, next month the company, because of your failed economic policies, has closed down.
Okay.
You're not going to earn pay as you earn. The workers who've been released are not going to spend in that economy. So the consumption tax, VAT, will go down. So you'll collect less and less and less. So it will not work.
Okay. You see, the former CS for Treasury and National Planning, Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, apparently had this to say when he was actually exiting the stage. And he was here saying that increasing taxes does not actually lead to the realization of more revenue. And I think that is what you're also saying here. Then questions would abound as to why is it that he said that at that particular moment, while he was at that very office back then. He wouldn't speak, he wouldn't talk. What do you think is the problem? What do you think the problem here is? Is it about the holders of those particular offices, or is it that there is some sort of an external force that is actually driving all these things here?
The problem is William Ruto. Ndung'u did not perform, but they will not perform, not because they are failures. They will not perform because of William Ruto.
Okay.
Who wants the easy way out? The Laffer curve is an economic theory that is known by any economist or anybody interested in economy. And I don't think that now they're in government, they assume the Laffer curve does not exist. They know it exists. And they've seen it in practice. The simplest example I normally give, if I had a tractor in the village, I plow for people, fuel goes for, at the time, 189. You increase it to 210 shillings. What will happen? The people that have been plowing for, I'll have to increase the cost of plowing their shambas.
Definitely.
When I increase the cost, they will say, we don't have that money to pay for the tractor, we'll use an ox, or we'll do hand plowing. So that tractor will be parked there. The fuel consumption will go down. What I was paying government in fuel, VAT and fuel levy, will go down. Because now I don't have users of the tractor. The numbers have gone down. So the collection from government will also go down. You are hoping that you increased VAT on fuel, that now you are going to make more money. Behavioral economics will tell you people adopt their behaviors based on the taxes that you've imposed on them. So they'll abandon use of tractors. They go to ox plows or hand plows. So you end up losing more. You will not collect what you are thinking you're going to get. But if the same government, for example, were to take away VAT on fuel, I have the tractor in the village, the price of plowing, an acre of land goes down, and everybody will want to use the tractor to plow their land. So if I was spending 10,000 liters per day, now I have high demand, I'll be spending 20,000 liters, I will be using 20,000 liters to plow for this increased demand for tractor services. And government will collect more money. So you reduce taxes. Once you reduce taxes, you expand the tax base. For William Ruto, he thinks you increase taxes and you collect more. No. Reduce taxes, expand the tax base. Once you have an expanded tax base, you collect more. Because maybe in the base, you only had 2 people paying taxes. With the reduced taxation, you now bring 10 people into the ecosystem, tax ecosystem. You bring 10. From 2 to now 10. Now 10 more people are contributing to your taxes. That will boost your collection. But Imi thinks these 2 people are paying tax already. They are paying 16%. Take it to 20. Of the 2, one of them will drop off. So you end up losing money. That's basic economics.
Okay.
You don't need to go to an economics school to understand that.
So is that why you're saying that we are not going to witness anything despite whoever is put in that particular office?
Until you change the thinking. Once you change the thinking, you move away from the demand side economics to supply side economics. Nothing will happen here.
Does the president run the show everywhere, in every ministry?
Of course. Who goes around launching even taps? Yeah. So you've seen him launching water taps and tanks.
But you asked what is wrong with him launching all those things.
So it tells you he's the one running them.
Okay.
What will the area assistant chief do? Once he launches a tap, what will the assistant chief do? So it means that's a presidential... He never understood his task. His TOR as a president, he's never understood them.
Okay.
He thinks he's a chief operating officer of the country. No. A president should be about vision. What is the vision that you want to drive the country to? Then you are bureaucracy feeds into that vision. But if you are launching taps today, tomorrow you are taking people to become maids in Saudi Arabia. What's the vision? You are launching fake projects across the country. You are telling the bureaucracy that it's good to launch fake projects. That whatever we are doing, we don't have to do anything. And you must move away from this thing that government cannot be the driver of economic growth. Government can only be a facilitator. But it's a demand-side economist. As we are supply-side economists, we believe that economic growth will be private sector driven. Government only plays a facilitative role and then provides social services and infrastructure to drive that growth.
Okay.
But the ultimate driver of the growth is the private sector, you and I.
Let's look at where CS John Mbadi finds himself in right now, because there was this one of the contentious issues in the Finance Bill 2024, and that was the eco levy. So apparently that needs to be reintroduced, and he's hinted at that. However, saying that they'll do away with the extremely perhaps the extreme issues that affect the common man, like the pads, sanitary towels, and all those things. But it's talking of anything that would be affecting the international companies, or rather the media companies, would be retained therein. This has not gone well with a number of Kenyans, saying very well that you opposed this at the beginning. But then why is it that right now you are trying to flip back and then change tune all of a sudden? So what do you make of this, and what is really happening here?
John Mbadi needs prayers, and needs lots of prayers. The books will not balance, and it's not of his making. They just had to get to that same spot, because even him is now got into that same system. They've already inducted him into demand-side economics, where he sees the problem is on revenue, not expenditure. His first 6 months should have been about expenditure, not revenue. But when you approach this problem that we're not collecting enough because we have a revenue problem, that's it, you're gone. I feel sorry for him, because very soon Kenyans will be greeting him.
Okay.
He is going to occupy a very non-admirable position. Because if he's not careful, after William Ruto will be the next hated person, most hated person in public space. Why? Because he's trying to do what William Ruto wants him to do. Increase taxes, not the tax base. And the problem is not of his making. The problem is of William Ruto's making. He's the one borrowing illegally. He's the one paying illegal debts. But John Mbadi now has to become the face of that failure. Too bad for him.
On the eco levy, he says that for companies that do produce maybe products that end up maybe interfering with the climate, or rather things which would be perhaps hazardous, things like carbon dioxide and all those kinds of industrial gases that are released into the atmosphere. He's saying that if you help, or rather in making the environment unsafe for people, then you should actually come up and help in mitigating the effects of the same.
My problem is this. Is our problem the environment today, or is the economy? You know, you can afford to have those kind of conversations when you're already having a functional economy. Then you can say, okay, we want to discourage certain productions from taking place.